Hello and welcome to Shay Spills podcast. I'm Shalane. How are you doing? Hope you're all doing well. This episode is on the hit show everyone has been talking about since December, Bridgerton. Yes, it's the show that everyone has binged in December, and now the reason why I decided to make it into my own podcast episode is I watched it with my parents. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You didn't know there was going to be steamy sex? I did. We thought it was going to be mild. Well, I was wrong. So if you have been living under a rock, Bridgerton is on Netflix and it's based on Julia Quinn's novels set in the competitive world of Regency era of London. A ton of work during the season where debutantes are presented at a court. Now, Bridgerton is Shonda Rhimes' first scripted Netflix series. What is a debutante, you say? A debutante, or Deb, is a young woman of an upper-class family background who has reached maturity, or as a new adult, comes out to the society as a formal debut, or possibly a debutante ball, and to find their suitor for a future husband. Now, the cast is a mixed, with producers saying that it was colorblind because they would imply that colour and race were never considered. And when colour and race are part of a show, I found it refreshing to see a mixed cast in a show and a step up for TV shows for mixed actors as well. Now, the drama takes place in the 19th century London and it centres in the Bridgerton family. The widow, Violet Downward Viscountess, if I'm pronouncing that right, Bridgerton is the mother of 8 children. Her 4 sons, Anthony, Benedict, Colin, and Gregory, and her 4 daughters, Daphne, Eloise, Francesca, and I can never pronounce the youngest child, Hyacinthe. I don't know how to spell it. It's Hyacinth. I'm not going to bother trying because that looks complicated. As featured in their gaudy neighbours are the Bridgertons, Portia, Lady Bridgerton, her husband Baron, and their mysterious cousin, Martina Thompson. Now, as the eldest of the Bridgerton family, Daphne enters her first season with the Queen's Charlotte favour. Now, she meets Simon Bassett, who is the Duke of Hastings and the best friend of her older brother, Anthony. Despite being encouraged by his mentor, Lady Danbury, the Duke is determined not to marry and plots with Daphne to secure his bachelordom and her suitable for marriage. Now, spoiler, you're going to not like what I'm going to say. When I say this, I mean I'm going to be talking about the show. So if you haven't seen it, stop right here, go and watch the show and come back to me. Now, we mostly follow Daphne and Simon in their plot. So Daphne to get her suitor, and each episode includes a narration of the actress Julie Andrews, who voices the ominous and ever scandalous newsletter columnist known as Lady Whistledown. Now, Lady Whistledown is known as everything what's going on in London and the WT season, who's seeing who, the Queen, Charlotte wants to know who it is as well, and hires Eloise Bridgerton to find out who it is. But we won't know about that till the end, shall we? Now, from watching the first 4 episodes with my parents, we thought we were just getting introduced to the families and smaller characters and whatnot, and we definitely thought Daphne and Simon would be a good match, even though they were just doing it for show, but the constant eye flirting and sneaky hand holding. Now, the first opinions, we didn't quite like Anthony, the older brother. He was a bit of a dick, to be honest. And he kept scaring away the male suitors for Daphne, and we think the cheek of him, since he was sleeping with an opera singer. We also felt Baron Featherton was a bit of a tick, foolish man with his money, along with his wife, with the bold colours of dresses, making their daughters completely stand out. Obviously for reasons to get a suitor and a husband. But I don't think it really worked, to be honest. It's a bit of an eyesore at times, but the dresses are still beautiful, I have to admit. Now, what amazes me, the costumes. The dresses the girls wear are so beautifully made. When I found out that the costume team took 5 months to prepare before they went on shoot the show, and the costume team went up to 238 people. Now, at the end of it, there was up to 7,500 pieces, from hats to shawls to overcoats, and that made up, just estimated, about 5,000 costumes that went before the camera. Now, for Phoebe, who plays Daphne, alone only had about 104 costumes for the show. Now, that's a big number for even a principal player. The flowers on set were also a thing I loved, especially the house that kept being featured throughout the series is clad with a lovely climbing purple plant, which is a wisteria, and it is a late spring summer flower. Now, watching from the show with my parents, it was taken as surprise by others. They already seen the show before us. Now, we only began watching the show during halfway through January. We were thinking, the first few episodes were semi-mild with the sex, except the first episode where Anthony and his lover practically were having it on a tree while a poor fella was holding Anthony's horse, and he had to hear everything. Now, it wasn't until the first episode of 6 we got the scene that everyone were talking about. Steamy, let's say. Daphne and Simon literally banged everywhere in the Hastings manner, and we got to see quite a lot of Simon's bum naked walking around the bedroom in a few episodes. Now, I think my mum preferred Simon in his fine clothes than out of them. There was points of the sex scenes as well that they were a bit over the top, let's say. And we decided to skip most of the scenes just as it got really, really awkward watching it with my parents. Other than that, our main priority was to find out who was Lady Whistledown. Our predictions were right, and we were pretty chuffed about that. Now, with the viewership of 82 million households, it has become the most watched series of Netflix. The series reached number 1 in 76 countries in Netflix, and in January 21, the series was renewed for a second season. I cannot wait for the second season, and they've already begun the production of it this month in March. Now, that's really it. I made a short episode today because I'm going to hopefully do a longer podcast episode in the end of March, and hopefully by that it will work out very soon. Now, thank you for listening. I will be doing another podcast episode very soon. I'm also going to be doing charity streams next week on the 22nd of March for Irish Cancer Society to raise funds for their support line and their night nurses. So if you want to hop on to Twitch and follow me there and check out the streams, it will mean the world. Mind yourselves, and I see you guys all very soon.